Alright YouTube, it's been a while since I've done a firearm related video, and I figured it was about time to do another one. So the other day I bought a pair of Chinese Type 53 Mosin-Nagant carbines, which are basically M44s made in China in the 50s. And I got a Nagant revolver. This one was made in 1940 at the Tula Arms Factory and doesn't appear to have ever been arsenal refinished. It's got complete matching parts on it and is in great shape. I ended up paying like $90 for it. A great deal. But the main thing I want to talk about is my Type 53s that I got. You can see that they're pretty rough. This one's got some carvings in the stock and some other stuff. I mean, the wood on these things is just beat to shit. They almost look like they've been picked up off a battlefield. And you're very rarely ever going to find one that's pretty. That being said, there are nice ones out there. For example, the other Type 53 that I got was in far better condition. It was not nearly as gouged. The stock was not nearly as beat up. The bluing was good. And something rather rare had occurred with that one. All the numbers matched. The butt plate matches. The bolt. Even the bottom of the magazine matches. And it's got a cleaning rod, alright? How many Type 53s have you seen that have been imported recently that have a cleaning rod? None of them, alright? It's an incredible find. The guy I got it from is an FFL dealer out of his house, and he's got the best prices I've found on these rifles. I paid $117 each for them, plus tax. So in Georgia, that's like 7%. On this whole purchase, I think it was like $353 out the door, which is a killer deal. But this rifle he was actually going to keep for himself. But he went on vacation with his family, and, you know, you need money. So, decided to sell it. Which was great for me, because this one did not take a ton of effort to bring back into amazing shape. Basically, I took the stock, and I took the whole rifle and broke it down, cleaned what little cosmoline there was out of the rifle, which was basically under the stock, part of the action, everything, that inside was coated with cosmoline, just a really light layer. Very easy to clean. These are not like normal, 9130s you're going to pull out of a crate, or they're dunked in it, basically. But the bore on this rifle, and this one, when I first looked at them, when I got back to my house, they looked rough. They basically had no trace of rifling whatsoever, but I figured that the rifles, in the condition they were in, metal-wise, that there was no way that the bores could be ruined. And it turns out that they weren't. Basically, maybe one or two passes with the 30 caliber bore brush took them back to almost mirror condition. The bore on that one looks amazing. It is mirror bright. The bore on this one is also mirror bright. It's got a little bit of use marks on it. You can tell that it has fired some kind of corrosive ammunition in its life, but it's not bad at all. It's not nearly as bad as some 9130s I've got, and it's way better than I ever expected from one of these. You look at these rifles and you see them from the outside, especially this one, and that's normally what you're going to see. This is a good condition Type 53. So what you're going to expect is beat to shit wood. You're going to expect some wear on it. The bluing's not perfect. The bluing on the top of the rifle isn't perfect. It just needs a little bit of love. And you don't expect a great bore. But these two rifles have had amazing bores. These are both Century imports. And I don't know the whole story on importation. I don't know if they're actually imported because they're Chinese rifles. And the 94 whole assault weapons bin, everything like that, limited imports from China. So I'm not 100% sure on where they came from, if they have been actually imported, or if they're being sold off because some guy had a truck full of them, and he's finally decided to release them onto the market. Either way, I'm glad they're out for sale because they're just a killer deal for what they are. Great, great range rifles, like good mountain rifles is basically what I'm going to use these for. Taking them up to the mountains, carrying them around, not going to cry if they get a little bit of rust on them. I can fix that. They're going to shoot really well. And the actions on these, after putting a little bit of frog lube on there, polishing the chamber out like Iraq Vet 8888 Eric had showed me how to do, makes a huge difference on how smooth these rifles' bolts are. I mean, very little creep in the trigger. Breaks very clean. The other rifle's the same. I haven't put as much time and effort into this one as I like because when I got it home, I realized that the extractor was broken. Not a big deal. Got the replacement parts on the way from the guy I bought it from for free. Great customer service. Can't recommend him enough. He's got my business for life. But yeah, they're just great rifles. Basically, stripped this one down, cleaned it up, re-blued all of it because there's almost no historical value on these rifles. You know, they're not really tied to any kind of major wars other than the North Vietnamese may or may not have used these against us in the Vietnam War. But other than that, I mean, they're just not hugely historical. They're not like a wartime production World War II Mosin. You know, you're not... There's just nothing there. So they make great candidates for completely restoring. I re-blued this with a kit from Brownells. And I'm probably going to do the same to this one tomorrow. And this stock is going to take a lot more time. I'm going to have to really steam out these dents. I kind of don't want to get rid of these carvings, but I'm kind of confused, or at least intrigued, as to why they are what appears to be English, but it's a name and not Chinese characters if these are Chinese rifles. I don't know about that, but we'll see how this one turns out. But as far as that one goes, I mean, it's incredible. I think it turned out really well. Basically, has had one very, very, very light coat of Minwax gunstock color stain on it, and wiped that off after about maybe 2 minutes just to really make the grain pop. This is almost the natural color of the wood, just a little bit lighter. And I apologize for the contrasts of the carpet and the towel. It kind of makes everything look a little bit darker, but it's actually it's a very light colored stock. Lighter than what you would find on 9130s. It looks a lot more red in the video, but it's really not that bad. But yeah, if you guys were thinking of buying Type 53s, I can't say enough positive things about what you get for your money. It is a very handy rifle. M44s are just all around great rifles. They will rock your shoulder, especially if you're shooting heavy ball out of it. But other than that, man, they make a cool freaking fireball too. They're fantastic. But yeah, you guys need to go pick one up. I hope you enjoyed it.